Community Health Program brought to you live by WVU Medicine Camden Clark Medical Center. Tonight we are discussing the changes at Camden Clark Medical Center and our relationship with WVU Medicine with our guest, Dr. Christopher Kalinda, President and CEO of WVU Medicine, and also David McClure, President and CEO of WVU Medicine Camden Clark Medical Center. If you have questions regarding this topic, please call 304-424-5112 or email forum@WTAP.com. Joining me now is Dave McClure. Welcome, Mr. McClure.
Thank you.
It's always nice to have you. I think we do this once a year.
Yes.
Yes, okay. We talked to Dr. Kalinda for the first time. That was certainly a treat.
Yes.
To be able to talk to him. And now we're going to jump in with you and all the great things that have been happening down the street at Camden.
Great.
So thank you. So the first thing, the biggest change for Camden Clark this year is changing what it says here is the brand or the name. So let's talk a little bit about when we're going to see that signage start going up and
Sure.
actually what that means to our community.
Okay. Camden Clark Medical Center is still the name of the hospital. Community-based hospital, that is our name. It's embedded in the community. It's been embedded for over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
The addition of WVU Medicine really allows us to link ourselves to the university and to the rest of the hospitals within the system itself. As Dr. Kalinda mentioned, there's great strength in numbers, and allowing us to merge all of us together with a common goal, we're able to bring the best of medicine to each one of our centers throughout the northern part of the state of West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's certainly a great plan, and it seems to be working really well, and it's only a benefit for our patients. So.
Absolutely. And as far as the signage, it'll be a slow process over the next 6 months.
And we can't just take them all down and throw them all up.
It is coming to be wintertime too, and it's a little difficult to do some of the signage, but we're in the process of designing the signage that will go on our hospital, actually on the north and south tower,
Mm-hmm.
and then additionally the standards that will be in the parking lots and on the buildings that we own and operate throughout the community.
Okay, so little by little, the community will start seeing the blue and gold popping up on the buildings. Well, that's good. It'll be nice to see that coming. So let's talk a little bit about the employees. I kind of interjected my thoughts when I was talking to Dr. Kalinda, but as you're talking with the employees, what have they... It says, how are they handling it? But I know, as far as I'm concerned, I've heard only positive things, good things.
Absolutely. Initially there was a little confusion about the relationship between the hospitals and especially WVU in Morgantown and the academic center. And as we discussed the relationship more and more with the employees, everyone came to an understanding that this is really an additional resource.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, you're responsible for cancer services at the hospital, and most recently the development of the WVU Cancer Institute will provide you additional resources for oncology services here in the community. We will continue to do that throughout our service lines and continue to bring the best and the brightest of information for our patients, as you mentioned earlier, to keep healthcare local.
Mm-hmm.
But also having the opportunity that if there is a service that we cannot provide in the community, we have a seamless transition for that patient to go to the next level or a higher level of care.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Some other changes, and I know everyone who's driven by our facility you can't miss this change, and that's
Can't miss the crane, huh?
You can't. So this is the new emergency department. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I know everyone in the community is wondering, when is it going to be finished? Is it on schedule? What's going on? So give us a little update.
Certainly. Well, our plan was to add an additional 63,000 square feet to the South Tower complex.
Mm-hmm.
When we looked at our complex and we looked at the merge of the two hospitals together, the emergency department really is our front door. And our emergency department right now is about 20 years old, and we started a new concept which we call split flow, which allows our patients not to have to wait in the waiting room and to be immediately taken back to an exam room, and the initial assessment of their illness or injury happens almost immediately. So our goal was to reduce our wait times, and we've been very successful with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've adopted the concept, and it's working well for us, but we really do need a new physical plant to go to the next level. And so within the last 3 years, we've gone through a lot of planning and a lot of processes, and finally determined that the best place to put the emergency department was against the South Tower and on the ground floor with easy access both from Garfield, Ann Street, and 6th Street. This will allow patients easy access into the emergency department. I know everybody's concerned about parking, but if you look at the architectural concepts and the artist renditions, you'll see that once the building is completed, about 2/3 of the parking lot will be redeveloped into parking, and about additional property across 6th Street for additional parking for overflow and that. The ease of the movement of the ED and also the development of the floor plan gave us a better flow of patients, but it also gave them better access to the operating room. So if someone came in with an injury or a trauma, ready access to the operating room, which is 1 floor up and connected to the building. If it was a heart patient that needed an immediate cardiac catheterization, we're 100 feet down the hallway to the cardiac cath lab. So we really looked at the South Tower as our new focus and wanted to really build a concept that would allow us to optimize the services that we have in the South Tower. Additionally, we decided to build a 30-bed unit above the emergency department. My ultimate goal is to have more private rooms in the hospital. Traditionally, hospitals were built with semi-private rooms. And, you know, in this day and age with all the IV pumps and all the apparatus and, you know, the illnesses and injuries that patients come into the hospital with, the rooms get so cluttered. And you add a couple family members in there and all of a sudden, you know, you don't really like your roommate at that point.
Right.
And so our goal is really to increase the number of private rooms we have on our campus. This will add 30 additional private rooms. Previously, this past year, I renovated the 4th floor of the North Tower and made 33 private rooms. We have all private rooms on the 1st floor, and we have a mix of semi-private on the 2nd, 3rd, and the 5th floor. So my goal would be once we open the private rooms in the new addition that I can go back into the North Tower and start to turn the semi-private rooms into private. I can't promise that I'll have 100% private rooms, but I'm going to get as close as I can.
That's a lot. That really is a lot. And with the focus on privacy so much in healthcare, it really is the right thing to do. Now, you didn't mention the schedule.
Yes.
Or when it might be open. So
well, again, if you've driven past the hospital, you've seen the huge crane up there and you've seen all the steel going up. We did have a little bit of a delay in the last steel package that came in, but you know, if you've driven by the complex, even in the evening and on the weekends, the construction crews are really moving quickly to get the building enclosed before the winter months come. Ultimate goal is to have the building enclosed so that during the winter months and the harsh weather, they can be doing all the interior work. We've started with the facade on the Ann Street side and are working on some of the interior work that is behind the scenes, and we've already poured decking on the majority of the floors. So even though we're a couple weeks behind, we'll be able to catch up very easily. So ultimately, we'd like to open the new emergency department in the fall of 2016, and shortly thereafter open up the inpatient unit, which is the floor above.
It is actually going up really quickly.
It is.
It seems like each day it changes.
It's amazing.
Quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, the other thing I think that that our viewers are wondering about is the 19th Street campus, formerly the St. Joe's building, and perhaps the status of that, if you have an update for us.
Certainly. We've been working with a local real estate company to market the 19th Street campus. Once the sisters left the campus, they asked us to move away from the name St. Joseph's. And so, you know, within the organization, we call it the 19th Street campus, but I'm sure that the community still recognizes it as St. Joseph's Hospital. The professional building remains open and very active with physicians in the professional building. We've been working with several national companies to look at redeveloping the property. It's amazing to realize that there's 17 acres of property on that campus.
Oh, goodness.
It stretches all the way from 19th Street south to the credit union property and all the way back almost to Market Street if you look at the 19th Street side. So, we have a very large parking garage and a very large central utility plant. So the property really is an ideal place for a big development. And, the potential buyers are really looking at the property to develop beyond what it was originally as a hospital. So I don't quite have a buyer yet, and I can't really identify who that is, but we have let the tenants know in the professional building that there is a potential buyer. They are going through their due diligence. So just like buying a house, you really don't close and sign on the paperwork till you've been able to go into the house and sort of kick the tires and make sure everything works and that it's a good buy. And once they finish that due diligence, then we'll finalize the sale, which hopefully will be sometime in the first quarter of 2016.
Okay. All right. Now, back in September, there was also a new cardiac services unit that was dedicated. You touched a little bit on the cath labs, but tell us a little bit more about what is included in the new cardiac unit.
Certainly. Well, this past year has really been a year of renovation and expansion. Not only the addition of the South Tower, but going back into part of the South Tower and the North Tower to expand the services there. And so we took what we call space that is not used within the North Tower and part of the South Tower and developed 3 brand new cath labs. 2 are state-of-the-art cath labs with new equipment and really for state-of-the-art interventions for our cardiologists. And then the 3rd lab was actually a lab that was on our campus that we relocated to the new suite. So in the new suite, we have 3 high-tech cath labs and our non-invasive diagnostic cardiac services. And we positioned it there because it's right next to our day surgery unit. So patients coming in for a procedure during the day that plan to go home that evening will have easy access to the cath labs and then easy access back for recovery and getting ready to go home. We also took the opportunity this past year to dedicate the cath labs. We dedicated 2 of them to pioneer cardiologists in our community. Dr. Avington and Dr. Santer were really the pioneers of cardiac services here in the community. And we felt it was important to recognize them, but also link them to the new technology as they had worked so hard over their career to bring state-of-the-art cardiac services to Parkersburg. The 3rd cath lab, we actually identified and honored Art Mayer, who was the former CEO of St. Joseph's Hospital. Art was the pioneer that was standing right next to Dr. Avington and Santer when open heart surgery came to the community and really championed cardiac services. Even though both hospitals, both Camden Clark and St. Joseph's Hospital, had cardiac services, the Open Heart Surgery Center was on the St. Joseph's Hospital campus, and therefore we thought that it was fitting to recognize Art and name one of the cath labs for him.
That was certainly an exciting time, and it's so nice to walk down the hallway and the staff did some artwork.
It's really bright.
It's really nice.
Yeah, we had a great celebration over the summer that allowed individuals that had been touched by our cardiologist and open heart surgeon and over the years, and they came together and they actually did personal art. And we did a collage on the wall, the hallway going down. But we also recognized all the caregivers, the team, the cardiac team. As Dr. Kalinda mentioned, it's more than just physicians on our team. So we wanted to recognize everybody as on the team so that our patients understood who was taking care of them during their cardiac catheterization or even their non-invasive cardiac testing period.
Okay. All right, well, we missed a few things that we wanted to talk about, but we'll catch up with that in a few minutes. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take another break, and when we return, we will continue to discuss Camden Clark Medical Center and our relationship with WV Medicine. Don't forget, lines are open to take your call.
One of the things we do in environmental services here at Camden Clark is adopt a family each year. We are able to do that by fundraising. We do basket raffles, we raffle off colored televisions, and then all of the money that we raise, we give back by adopting a family. Last year, we were able to adopt 4 children.